something, but you say there was nothing, but you say it with a smile.
Whoa.
Whoa! All right. Welcome to the Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. I'm your host, Coach V, and I'm here with the Dick Perry Tribute League champion, Dr. Dry.
Three-time champ. How's it going, you little fourth grader?
We're doing good. We're recovering from puking yesterday or Monday.
This is the flu game.
This is my flu game. And before I went on, I watched the highlights of Michael Jordan's flu game.
Nice.
Get myself excited.
Get hype.
And it helped. I mean, I forgot that he looked like shit. Like during the whole game. Like he would like score, then he was just like
Yeah. Well, if you need me to, I'll carry you off. And
yeah, you can be Scotty.
yeah, I'll be Scotty. Anyway, but yeah, I did beat Matt. He was one catch away. He had Jordan Addison. I started a real shithead, Ty Chandler, to win my championship. So anyway, shows you how random playoffs and championship weeks are and all that. Matt definitely had the better team. He's who I beat for the Dick Perry title. But that's to take nothing away from Matt. Great fantasy manager, great opponent. But I just don't lose that league, man. 3 in a row. So going for the 4-peat next year. We'll see how that goes. As long as I'm living, I'm sure I'll be in it. So anyway, yeah, so that was definitely walking tall going into work this week. Another fantasy championship belt under my belt, and so I'm pretty happy with that. And Coach V, I believe you won a very elusive championship this weekend. How did that go?
Yeah, I finally won the RLQ. It's been a long time, over 10, 12, 13 something years. I'm trying to think, like maybe
I think 2009. It might have been 15 years.
15 years now. A lot of the original players weren't there, but there were enough original players to know that I never even had been in a championship game until this year. And yeah, it worked out.
Can I get a deal? Yeah, brother.
So it feels good to finally win that. And, you look at your squad and you're just like, yeah, this is a winning team right here. Like now I was looking over my season though, and I was pretty much 500 all the way up to about 2/3 the way through. And then I won my last 5 out of 6 or something like that. So I remember that was the team I actually drafted on your back porch.
Yeah.
With Skits and Joe was there. And so I remember that night I was like, oh, I don't know about this team. But there you go. Fantasy is about persevering, even if you don't think you drafted a good team. I mean, you still draft a good team, but then continue to manage your team because that squad had Kyron on it. So managing your team is crucial. So yeah. Winning the ROQ was great. And I was going to say the Dick Perry League, that's a dynasty league, right?
Nope, season long.
Oh, it's a season long. Okay. I was going to say to win 3 times in a row in a dynasty league, I feel like that's crazy.
Hell no. No, I win a lot of regular season titles in my dynasty league, but I haven't won the big one.
Yeah,
I get my $20 back.
Yeah. So yeah, championship week is over with. I hope some of you all won championships. It's been a fun fantasy season. F all those weirdos who play championships this upcoming week.
Ugh, disgusting.
How does that even happen? I don't understand what the point is. Is it just people aren't checking? Is it just a rookie commissioner? How does that even happen?
I think it's a mix of, just people who've never played before, possibly lazy commissioning. I don't know why you would want to do it. Because you could be a CMC owner he's resting, so you better go grab Jordan Mason to win your championship. What the hell? Like, why would you want to do all that? Um, yeah, just crazy. But yeah, Joe, rough go at it. We didn't have to
Uh,
show that, but 0-2 in the championships this
oh,
year.
sorry, Joe.
Oh yeah, I witnessed it too. Yeah, he was in that dynasty championship, and anyway, couldn't bring it home. Super dominant team. And now, what do you even do in the off season? That's kind of where I'm at with my dynasty team. I'm trying to trade Tyreek Hill. No one's biting. I don't know. I guess I'll just keep him on my team. But
Oh, rats.
whatever. Oh no, oh no, I get another regular season championship again, which I might not, because me and him are in the same division next year, so we get double Kevin versus Joe. So that'll be interesting. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was yeah, definitely championship week's always special. It's always around the holidays. You're usually seeing family and things like that. I know we had a good party at a friend's house and got to watch a couple championships unfold, and that was a lot of fun. So anyway, yeah, championship always a blast. But and yeah, so anyway, well, wild trade happened in another dynasty league. Actually, Joe's in this league, Matt's in this league, Vinny's in this league, I'm in this league. So we're all in this together. Um, big trade went down. So anyway, yeah, someone traded C.J. Stroud and Jalen Waddle for old ass Raheem Mostert and crippled ass Cooper Cup in dynasty, not season long.
Yeah,
So anyway, and I think there was a fourth rounder involved somewhere, but
yeah.
yeah, just I don't know. I'm not gonna comment too publicly on it, but yeah, WTF about sums it up, I think.
So, looking at championships, we really just wanted to take time in this season one finale to acknowledge those guys who just really did it for you, those people who came through for you in a lot of different ways, and primarily the ones who really just showed up in the postseason for sure, even those unexpected ones. And so this is our 2023 post 2023 FQF God Squad. Um, do we have a little bit of we have overlap. Damn it, we got overlap from this original
Yeah.
squad. We're calling it overlap, but obviously things shake out differently than you think they would. So how are we going through this? Where are we starting at?
So yeah, the God Squad, and I think we'll just kind of explain our approaches because I think we took two different approaches on it. I kind of looked at sort of like what we did with the preseason God Squad, and who we thought would overperform. These are those who did overperform. Obviously, no first rounders. I know CD and Amon-Ra; those were like borderline first seconds. So they're kind of the closest thing we have to like a first rounder in here. I don't think we have any others. Everybody else kind of a surprise, or they're not people that you're not drafting. Like there are definitely some last round guys, some free agent pickups, things like that. Which that's why you can't win on draft night. But also, you can. I don't know where I was. I had a really cool saying in my head. It didn't come out right, but so good start to the finale. But you can definitely lose your season after having a good draft if you don't manage your team the right way. These are all players that anyone could have acquired, mostly through draft, but managing that waiver wire, really paying attention to who's peaking at the right time, noticing trends, things like that. And so I kind of looked at like who got you there, and then or who got you to the playoffs, and then what was your approach for the guys that you picked?
So I wanted to do guys who were not obvious, who showed up in the postseason. So those final three-ish games, who just like you would never have expected to be on your team and winning you a fantasy championship. There's a little bit of overlap between those two because some of those guys you got, they overperformed and they stayed on your team. And then there's others who they came out of nowhere and then they just ended up winning a fantasy championship for you.
Yeah, yeah. So these are the players handpicked by God, Jesus Christ Himself. Obviously, the bigger ones are the ones who really led the way at each position. We have CD's Nuts Lamb on one side, the number one wide receiver. He did overtake Tyreek Hill. Tyreek, everybody thought Tyreek had it wrapped up as far as the very top wide receiver one this year. CD Lamb, out of nowhere, he took basically Amon-Ra St. Brown. He took that step that we were all hoping for, where it's like, okay, I think he's going to be, in that top 5 to top 7 conversation next year. CD Lamb, he'll definitely be a top 5 pick next year. I think there's an argument to take him at 2, 3. Probably there. I'd probably still take Jettas over him, but with the healthy Cousins and everything. But there's argument there. He's definitely a top 3, top 5 pick.
I think you're fighting. I think CD and Chase are fighting it out for who's after JJ. Like, because you saw, I don't know, like CD didn't disappear, and I can't think of any game where CD disappeared this year.
Mm-mm.
And there were games with a healthy Joe Burrow where Jamar Chase disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Cowboys offense is just, and I don't know, things could happen in the postseason. The Cowboys change their offensive scheme or something. But this year it was just sling the ball and just get it to CD as offense.
Yeah. And I don't think CD has better hands than JJ or Chase. I think he's just more of a get him the ball, he makes things happen. He's got fine hands and everything, but it's, he doesn't have that catch everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he's right place, right time. I do put him in that, as far as dynasty goes, I think it's kind of all across the board. JJ, Chase, CD, pick and choose. Like, you're not wrong going with any of the 3. It's kind of your preference at that point. Joe's a big CD over Chase guy. He used to hate CD Lamb. He was the devil, but but not anymore. Now that he's playing fancy foosball with his fancy friends. And, Joe points out a good point. We have a lot of phone conversations almost every day about, different fantasy scenarios, things like that. And anyway, he points out, Chase does have some duds in there, and I know I'm willing to deal with the duds from Chase. Some people want more consistency, but CD Lamb, I think he leads the God Squad for the wide receivers. And then we have some other gentlemen here. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know he's someone that I believe he helped you win your championship too, right?
Yeah. I mean, the squad.
Me too.
I had I had CD and Amon-Ra on that team, so I was really
and Kyron.
And so I had a nice little. I mean, that was a good team. But Amon-Ra, the big thing for Amon-Ra this year was he played all season. I think he missed 1, maybe 2 games, and he got in the end zone. Last year, he wasn't getting in the end zone. He was like leading that stat for being tackled within the 5-yard line, which is like an awful stat in fantasy football. But like this year, he found the end zone. I'm guessing they realized that like they need to like scheme things up. But just the Lions overall, like just really took the next step with their offense. And so, which could suck because they could lose their coordinator this year to a head coaching job. And now what happens with that Lions offense and all those assets? Who knows?
Right.
I hate it when like good coordinators coaches like just like I wish good coordinators would just be like, yeah, I want to be a good coordinator. Let's just stay there.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a long ass comment.
Vinny looking sexy as fuck and Kevin looking like a sexy Mr. Clean. Love you guys. Great job on the success of the podcast. Can't wait till next year.
Winky face.
That was very sweet and a little
and
gay, but that's all right.
Suggestive.
Yeah, definitely. He's looking to pork. So anyway, so watch out for Skits over there in the comment section. But anyway, we love you, Skits. Whatever way you need us to. And so yeah, St. Brown, he took that step that we were all looking for. Finished the wide receiver 3. Definitely Sun God has to be on the God Squad, and he's one of the few like original God Squad members who made it to the to the promised land here. So thank you, Saint Brown. Our dear sweet Pikachu is our next one. Puka Nakua, man, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's someone that for a lot of people was on the waiver wire. For me, he was like a last pick in the draft. Drafted him in a rookie draft. He's my boy. Like everywhere I have him. And he just he's being talked about as like a cornerstone piece for dynasty wide receivers. And I fully believe that. For a second there, I was thinking maybe it was fool's gold, and I've kind of been a little thinking about trading him, but not anymore. I'm like, you know what? I need him. He's part of the family. He's like a son to me, just like Tank Dell. What are your thoughts on Pikachu?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have Puka anywhere, but I mean, he's such a great story. I will put this out there. This is something I was saving for the podcast. I'm worried about all Rams fantasy assets like next year. Just because this year was such a surprise. We expected none of this from anybody. We didn't expect Stafford to play the way he did. We expected this team to all just take a backward step. We thought maybe Cooper Kupp would be a valid fantasy asset. And who's to say, depending on how far they go in the playoffs, that, Stafford hangs it up. What are they doing after that? I don't know how much I believe in Sean McVay if, they're playing just some scrub at quarterback. So I don't know. Now I love Puka. I love Kyron. Obviously, they're great talent, but I am worried about the future just because I don't know. Weren't you thinking that you could expect nothing from the Rams this year?
Yeah, originally, I was like, I'll take a flyer on this Puka guy, but other than that, you have Kupp, he's coming off, and I was really out on Kupp this year. Kyron Williams was buried on the depth chart. He was someone I did not care about. And it feels random with him too. Like he's not some superior athlete or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It feels a little random, but it's until proven wrong. Like I'm in on him. He's definitely someone that I can see him going end of first round next year in season long drafts. But yeah, I mean Rams we were expecting nothing from, and here we are with 3 of them on the postseason God Squad.
Yeah.
So and I think the Rams and Lions, probably Lions a bit more than the Rams, but both of those were the 2 most fantasy friendly offenses that we've seen this year as far as amount of pieces that you can get from that offense. Yeah. So I mean Puka, hell of a job. And then we see a couple guys that you put up here that I like. I like their outlooks. And it's been a love-hate thing with George Pickens. Yeah. But I think these are 2 guys that really showed up in your fantasy playoffs, as you pointed out. So what do you think about Flowers and Pickens joining the God Squad? And Flowers made both God Squads.
Yeah. Pickens is on the God Squad purely for the playoffs. The Steelers, when they switched to Mason Rudolph, it kind of flipped a switch, and they were able to get the ball to Pickens. And so Pickens was a great fantasy
Weird.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mason Rudolph, the man. So I'm not high on Pickens. The Steelers offense is a mess, unpredictable. So he's purely there because he showed up in your fantasy playoffs. I bet week 1 you didn't play him. Week 2 you couldn't trust it. But in the fantasy championship, she said, F it, I got to play this guy, at that
That's point. When he came through.
And so anyway, hopefully that worked out for someone out there. Now, Flowers, on the other hand,
that's your baby.
Yeah, that's my baby. I think he showed up in your fantasy playoffs. He had ups and downs throughout the season and looked really good. And, the times he didn't score or didn't, put up points was times where the rest of the offense was all down. So it wasn't one of those where the offense was up and he was down. He was down with everyone else, or he was sometimes up while everyone else was down. And so that tells me he's a good player. So yeah, I'm really high on Zay Flowers. I think let's get Odell out of the building. Let's one of those like other like people that just distracting out of the building, and let's let, as they say, let's let Lamar cook, let's let Zay cook, and like let's do this.
Let's let this flowers bloom.
So hopefully next year, second year with Todd Monken as the offensive coordinator, that passing offense can really get off the ground. So I have a really nice outlook for Flowers in the coming
years. Yeah, nice. And then I just had to put him on here just because he's the man.
Can I get a Dale? Yeah, brother.
Dale, yeah, you made it. If he was just healthy, he'd like for real be on here. But I just had to put him on here because I love him so much. And then next, let's go to the tight ends. Because let's see, there kind of three different stories here. Sam Laporta finishing as the number one overall tight end, overthrowing Travis Kelce.
Yes.
And overthrowing Travis Kelce, just kind of taking over that number one spot. He's someone that definitely got you through your fantasy playoffs, definitely got you there. Definitely a very strong dynasty asset, especially if you're starting tight end. I know I'm in one league that doesn't start a tight end. It's optional. You have that option to put them in your flex, but most of us don't carry a tight end. So, but he puts up numbers that are fine enough to be a starter. So Sam Laporta, great tight end class this year, and he's the one who shined through it all. He was one of those like 3 to 5 that you were like, all right, somebody here is going to hit, and it was Sam Laporta. So, which that's one of Superfan Matt's guys. He loves Sam Laporta, so he was on him from the beginning. Sam Laporta I was sort of in on, but I never pulled the trigger. Never was lucky enough to get him. So I don't know. He was, I think, someone that I should have done more research on. I think I was more excited about I know where Dalton Kincaid guys still are. They need to get Dawson Knox out of there, and I think he would probably be on here next year. But yeah, let Dalton cook. And then, but don't let David Njoku cook. He's, you don't want him too close to the oven. So David Njoku, he's on here because he finally did what we have been waiting for him to do, and that's have a top 10 finish. He was, on my championship team. He was a last second pickup. Something just told me it was going to be a big Browns night when they played the Jets, and we were right. And I wish they would have used him more than just the first quarter, but he got 17 in the first quarter, so we're good. But yeah, David Njoku, and then who's that man over there in the corner?
Jawan Johnson in the corner. He's peeping out. So he's not someone you care about for fantasy, but in the fantasy playoffs, he was just one of those random weird people that got it done. I think Taysom Hill got a score in the last game of the last championship week. But Jawan Johnson was consistently getting passes, scoring, getting yards. It was a weird thing. Probably burned you multiple times throughout the year because I know there were weeks where it'd be like, it's a Jawan Johnson week. It's a Jawan Johnson week. And then it wasn't a Jawan Johnson week at all. And so, but, if someone was in need and they threw him in there, they got rewarded and hopefully helped them. It's just the random guys who win you fantasy. I mean, I was listening to a podcast and they were like, someone text or email us your lineup if you had what's his face from the Eagles? Julio Jones.
Donkey teeth? Oh, Julio. Yeah.
Text us or email us if you had Julio Jones in your lineup. We want to see a screenshot of that lineup. Who the hell had Julio Jones in their lineup? But championship weekend, he scores 2 touchdowns. It was kind of like Mike Evans last year. Does nothing all year.
Don't remind me of that. I hate Mike Evans. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't. Superfan Matt, where's Jordan Addison? I mean, did he do anything in the fantasy playoffs?
He lost Matt a championship. I know that. Anyway,
Yeah,
that was
I just
low.
don't think
That was a low blow. I had to take the low hanging fruit.
I don't think he's God Squad worthy. Not yet. Maybe next year.
No, there's promise. I think you're excited about him for good reason. But yeah, just it's a very subjective list, and yeah. so so anyway,
He's hurt.
yeah. Well, it's because I'm so icy, dog. So anyway, oh, is that Moo Moo?
Yeah, Moo Moo.
Maybe
Keeping her
we'll see her
butthole out of
beehole here soon. so so anyway, yeah, those are tight ends. And then next, let's get into. You want to do quarterback or running back?
Quarterback's less exciting. Let's do quarterback.
All right. So, leading off with Lamar Jackson, he was at the beginning of the year. He was in that group of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow at the beginning of that group. He's the one who came out of that. And he was someone that some people are very much in on. Some people, I'm going to avoid that guy. I was very much an avoid Lamar Jackson guy because I feel like he quit on his team last year. I'm like, I don't know, like he does get hurt a lot, things like that. Definitely, don't doubt him as a passer or anything like that. Just there were other guys I liked in that spot. I was a big Trevor Lawrence guy, way off. Like Trevor Lawrence, if we made a big Hillshire Farms disappointment shit the bed combo award for the year, he's my one. Trevor Lawrence, he was supposed to take a step forward. He took three giant leaps back, and he's dead to me. So, Lamar Jackson, just what he did for you in the championship: 5 touchdowns, destroying the Dolphins, looking good while doing it. The ultimate FU to your opponent if you had Lamar Jackson going. And on top of that, he finished. I think he finished QB3 or something. So, exceeded expectations for the season, showed up in the fantasy playoffs, just did great for you. I think there was like a couple weeks somewhere in like the beginning to middle of the season where it was like, oh, what's he doing? Like, they're not doing much. They're winning though, but more of a better for real football than fantasy football, but the fantasy part definitely came out and it came out huge. So Lamar Jackson leads the quarterbacks on the God Squad. And then what looks like a bunch of random collection of guys down in the corner. These are your league winners at quarterback. I'll let you start with, Matt Stafford. You've loved him for decades.
Oh, yeah.
Why is he on here just because you love him, or is he on here because he showed up big time?
Well, when you think about just like what you paid for Matt Stafford versus what you got,
yeah,
insane
value, yeah.
No one expected anything from Matt Stafford. You were crazy if you took him. If you had told me you took him at the beginning of the year, I would have made fun of you. Like I would have gave you shit for it. And so, just we were wrong. He had another year left. Does he have any more? I don't know. But not only was he a surprise, but he also played well in your fantasy playoffs. So yeah, that's why Matt Stafford's on there for me. I also put Derek Carr on there. He was a piece of shit this year, but like Derek Carr shit the bed multiple times this year. He was awful. He was hurt. But then in the fantasy playoffs.
All right. I had to use all three.
That last one was timed really well. But in the fantasy playoffs, he was pretty good. Like the last week less so, but the 2 previous weeks, so like your fantasy like quarterfinals and your fantasy semifinals, he probably helped win you those weeks, especially if you were weak at quarterback. I played in a 2 QB Superflex league, and our champion had Derek Carr in his Superflex spot because it was just like, wow, holy crap, this guy's done nothing all year, but here he is the last season. And so yeah, that's why Derek Carr does not belong on this list. except for the last 3 weeks of the season.
That's why he's here.
That's why he's here. He snuck in with some other boys.
The King, Derek Carr. And I have 54-year-old Joe Flacco on the list. I mean, yeah, if you're a Browns fan, you're gonna get Joe Flacco tattooed like on your body somewhere. And anyway, yeah, you're very happy with what he's done for the franchise. If you're a fantasy football player and your quarterback went down, say you lost, a sexy Joe Burrow or someone like that. And Joe Flacco kind of came strolling in at just the right time whenever you needed somebody. It probably felt disgusting adding him, and then much less starting him. And then you saw what he did for a couple weeks, and then it's like, all right, let's get some of that action, as you would have said in the preseason. And so Joe Flacco just balling out, and he definitely showed up big time in your championship as well. Just the dismantling of the NYGD Jets, which he's wearing a New York Jets jersey in his sleeper picture. And so, like, that's how you know how random he is to have on the list. He's not even wearing the right jersey. They didn't even give him time to take a picture in a Browns jersey or the dignity to be on the right team in his picture. Hold everything. We've got our friend. We've got cousin Alex.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's here. Everyone go check out his music. McCardle, just one word. He'll treat you right. So, and he's calling a Browns Lions Super Bowl. I think we'd all really enjoy that, honestly. Joe Flacco versus Jared Goff, and just those offenses and Browns deep. Yeah, that would be an awesome Super Bowl. Can I get a big Kang? Yeah.
So, I don't even know what that is.
That's me and Joe really like that commercial with Chris Webber. It was from like 10 years ago. Chris Webber walks into Burger King and he's like, "Can I get a Big King?" And so we joke about, like, I don't know, like if you're just hyped up and like ready to go do something, like, "Oh, I feel like I could eat 13 Big Kings right now." Like, the more Big Kings you can eat, the more hyped up you are. So Joe, you can get a Big King. And I was a huge fan of like his intramural church softball team for a couple weeks, and I would show up, and I was gonna bring them all Big Kings to get them psyched up for the game, and get a couple Big Kings in them for some big home runs. But yeah, that's the story behind that. Good stuff, really. And then last QB we have on here is Jordan Love. Now, he's really taken my heart. He's someone who, I don't know, like, I didn't start him every time I should have, and he really turned it up. You can expect 20 to 25 points from him in the fantasy playoffs. It was awesome. He finished QB5 this year, which a lot of people don't even realize. And he kind of snuck up on you there. I love the offense long term. Everybody's in their first or second year there. He's young. He's cute. Definitely someone that you can see yourself with long term. So anyway, I love Jordan Love. Call me crazy. I've been having a lot of wild takes lately. I'm going to keep him over Tua this offseason. I even have Tyreek Hill. I don't even care. So Jordan Love, he's the guy moving forward. I think he's going to take an even better step forward next year. He's a gamer. They're losing a lot. They have a bad offense, they have a bad defense, which is great for their offense.
Yeah.
Going to have them throwing a whole bunch. So yeah, Jordan Love definitely came through this year. Definitely surprised some folks. I think I traded a 10th rounder for him originally because I missed him in like the supplemental draft of our rookie dynasty draft. And anyway, glad I did. It didn't pay off, but trust the process more than the results for sure. So that would conclude our quarterbacks. Now let's get into running backs. And there's some overlap here. Kyron Williams, the words league winner,
Yeah.
if that's in the dictionary, that's the picture next to it. That's the true definition of a league winner. Someone who you picked up off of waivers a couple weeks into the season, or he was like a deep dynasty stash or something like that.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams showed up big, big, big time for you, especially the second half of the year. He just needed an opportunity and he ran with it. Um, you know, it I was about to say something gross, but I'm not gonna say. I don't know. Um, sometimes you gotta stop yourself. Like we have 3 people tuning in. I don't want to ruin it and have only 2. So yeah, Kyron Williams, what a guy. What a
Yeah,
guy. So
he was when you watch him at the beginning of the year, he was purely like a volume guy. He was kind of like shitty Damian Pierce last year. It was just all based on getting enough touches. But then he really did morph and transform. So at the end of the year, he was still getting those 20, 25 touches a game, but he was averaging 4 or 5 yards a touch. And he was scoring touchdowns from 4, 5, 6 yards out. These weren't like goal line scores. He was ripping off runs. So you watched him kind of become this guy who needed to like grind it out. It was almost like, I don't know, like he played that grinded out game. It got himself hurt. And then he came back with some flash, or maybe they played with the offense a little bit. But
maybe he's on steroids.
Maybe there was some steroids while he was like, but like something changed and he became a much more explosive chunk yardage guy, which that's what you want to see. Like that's what fantasy, players are. Like those grinded out guys are great, but they don't last long. He needs to be a like explosive guy in order to be like fantasy relevant for multiple years.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. God bless him. That's why he's here. Next we have, let's see. Let's go with Travis Etienne. I believe he finished. People don't realize he finished RB2 this year, which is insane. Like it's like a surprise RB2. I knew he was some sort of RB1. But I figured he was like 7, 8, 9, something like that. But yeah, I mean, just someone that at times felt inconsistent, but a lot of the times you were just happy with the production. I think he went through like a little bit of a dry spell, but nothing too crazy. Showed up when you needed him to, and so that's why he's here, just Mr. Dependable. In a Jags offense that had a lot of disappointment going on, so kind of that shiny diamond inside the turd sandwich that you're always looking for. Yum yum yum. and and then we have Rachaad White, our sweet prince, Ben's son that he never had, and that's he's like a son to him. So we put him high up there in the clouds. He was on our McDonald's 11th McNugget. He was the guy saying "bop bop 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 McDonald's" at the bottom, and that's he deserves to be here. I think he was someone that we wanted this to happen. Oh, cool, Ben's here. So we'll just put this up while we're talking about him. So I love Rachaad White. That's what it comes down to.
He heard Rachaad White being mentioned, and he was like, "Oh my god, I love that guy."
Yeah, he was like, "I gotta tune in now," with all white heart. Anyway, yeah, Rachaad White, what a hell of a guy. Just it was so nice of him to put the team on his back, put the fantasy team on his back. He led Ben to a fantasy championship. Someone offered him a trade for him, and he was like, "Get out of here! Like, nothing can buy Rachaad White from me. Like, there's no way." But yeah, so it's destiny. God's always watching, and I think that's something that we all need to remember up in this bitch. So, so Rachaad White, excellent job, and I don't know what that's about, but
maybe he talked shit about Rachaad White or something.
Maybe, yeah. I know I have Rachaad White in our dynasty league, and I love him too. He's really grown on me. At first, I was like, I guess I'll kind of take this guy. DeAndre Swift will be my RB1 though. We'll see how that worked out. So now Rashad White, he's all I got. So anyway, yeah, horrible running back room other than Rashad White. We have 5 people in here right now. I think if we hit 6, that's a new record.
We haven't done this since Halloween.
I know, yeah, we haven't done this much since Halloween. We had strangers in the comment section and everything. Everyone's showing out for the finale tonight. So, Vinny, you got a fella on here.
Yeah.
And he's kind of being covered up by that stupid StreamYard logo.
Yeah.
But this guy's more powerful than that damn goose. So who do you have here?
So I have John Connor on here. So John Connor with Arizona. I have him on here.
John Connor.
Wait a minute. What's his name? No. John Connor's from the Terminator. James Conner. James Conner.
James Conner.
Get it right. I love him that much. No, I don't love James Conner. I just love what he did in the fantasy playoffs. He was that guy that you picked up. He got injured. He may even got dropped by someone midway through the year because Arizona was getting game scripted out of running the ball by the end of the game. And so anyways, at the end of the fantasy season and the fantasy playoffs, he comes through for you. James Conner is on the he is on the postseason God squad. I don't think I would put him on a regular season God squad list. He wasn't terrible in the regular season. You could have done worse. You could have been a DeAndre Swift owner. I would much rather have James Conner over DeAndre Swift. I didn't have James Conner anywhere. I was like, no way, this isn't going to work out at all. But yeah, he may have been someone. There's a lot of guys on here. If you were patient, it worked out. Now you were patient, but you weren't stupid. You were patient in that you put them at the end of your bench. You kept them in the IR whenever they were hurt, but you didn't let them go, and they won a championship for you. And I think our last guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, is actually one of those guys who you needed to be patient with in order to get the full effect of him throughout the season, which I know you did not express as much patience with Jahmyr.
Be patient next year. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because when you think about the first, 5 games pre-David Montgomery getting hurt,
it was miserable.
Maximal frustration. You paid a lot of money, and it sucked because Gibbs started getting more and more expensive as the regular season, as those drafts that were closer to the regular season came online. Gibbs started getting more expensive. Whereas if you were drafting preseason game number 1, Gibbs was a lot cheaper at that point. So your expectations started to come up. The Lions' offense was weird with the whole Montgomery thing, and you were just at home, so angry. But then if you hung in there, they figured it out. They figured out how to feed both guys. They figured out how to get Gibbs the ball in prime situations, and it worked out for you. Do you know what Gibbs finished RB-wise?
RB8, I think. So, yeah, which is awesome. And yeah, I rage traded Gibbs over to, and yeah, and anyway, yeah. So I did hand him off. I was trying, I got Chase, which didn't work out this year, but I'll still stand by it. But I did give up too much. Gibbs should have not been thrown in. But anyway, yeah, Gibbs. And he's someone I had in 2 dynasty leagues. So he in our startup, I took him in the 3rd round. He is a cornerstone asset in dynasty communities. And I took him at the 1.2 in our rookie draft in my other league in year 2 in Ben's league. And anyway, yeah, just someone that I rage traded in one and held to in the other. Glad I held on to him in at least one. And I had him on the trade block and I was like ready to make a move because I was like, this sucks. Like, Dan Campbell's an idiot. David Montgomery's going to be there his whole career and he's going to never get the ball. And anyway, yeah, he's someone that's like untouchable now on that team. So,
Right.
Matt, I know he'll treat him right and he'll probably never trade him until he's 27 because that's what we do. And or even 25. But yeah, Gibbs is young too. I think he got drafted at age 20. So he's still got some good years in there, and he just looks so damn explosive. Like Gibbs is awesome. So anyway, yeah, that wraps up the God Squad. We don't have a new commercial for you tonight, but I think it would be really cool to play 3 audios of commercials. So we'll start with some of our favorites over the past season. I'm going to play the Boots Donnelly commercial for Pabst Blue Ribbon.
All right.
Hi, this is Boots Donnelly. When I'm not busy coaching the Blue Raiders, I like to drink a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, nice.
So next time you're cracking a Pabst, make sure you dedicate your next DUI to me, Boots Donnelly.
Thanks, Boots.
Thanks, Boots. Rest in
next, peace. Yes, rest in peace, Boots. Next, I want to play the Aiden Brantley music promotion. Do you have all the... Oh, nice.
Hey, y'all, it's your boy Aiden Brantley. Letting you know I just dropped my latest hit on Spotify. He's got a truck, she's got a truck, we all got trucks. Give it a listen today. I'll also be out at Berkeley's Boots this Saturday signing autographs. Come on out, pick yourself up a handful of Chex Mix, and say hey.
All right, thanks, Aiden. Good luck. Next, let's do the Duke's Mayonnaise Squeezy Pouch.
All right.
Stay tuned for this special message from Duke's Mayonnaise.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, Ted?
What you doing?
Putting some mayonnaise on my sandwich.
Well, what the hell are you using?
Oh, this here? It's a squeezy pouch.
A squeezy pouch?
Ain't that for pussies? Nah, man. After a long day of changing carburetors and using my hands, a squeezy pouch is just what the doctor ordered.
Oh.
All right. Let's see. Let's do Ken Pilkerton Chevrolet, our first sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Never forget.
Hey, folks, Ken Pilkerton here from Ken Pilkerton Chevrolet. Hey, why don't you come on down to Ken Pilkerton Chevrolet this weekend? We got $19.99 sale. You want a brand new Chevrolet? I can put you one for $19.99 a day. You want a half new Chevrolet? I can put you in one for $19.99 a day. You want an old ass Chevrolet? I can put you in for $19.99 a day. That's right, folks. Come on down to Ken Pilkerton Chevrolet. Ken Pilkerton Chevrolet at 2222 Blue Boulevard. Come on down to Ken Pilkerton Chevrolet. They grab your handful of Chex Mix. I put you in Chevrolet today for $19.99.
And yeah, and then we'll end it with Mary Betty.
Mary Betty.
Yeah.
All right. Is this thing on? Okay. Hey, everybody. This is Mary Betty. I'm here in the middle of cold, flu, and COVID-19 season to remind you to keep it to 6 feet. That's right. When you're in bed with your husband, 6 feet. When you're at the bank, keep it to 6 feet. And most especially, when you're at the Giant Eagle, keep your distance to 6 feet.
Thanks, Mary.
All right. I wish I had listened to Mary. I wouldn't have got sick, but
6 feet. All right. So anyway, I think we just want to wrap up with some words of encouragement. Um, I don't know why that was funny. But I guess before we get into that, what can we expect from Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast moving forward?
Yeah, I think we're trying to, up our game in the next season. Our audience, y'all let us know what you would like more of or what we need to do more of, do less of, how we can be better, helping you all. But I know we want to put together more materials like when you're not on the podcast. So like tiers and boards and like rankings. So you can get our opinion and maybe help you actually make decisions. Ben wants more mayo and coffee, maybe more stunts moving forward. And yeah, I mean, in the off season, we're wanting to do some fan or some dynasty stuff. Maybe even play around and watch more episodes of Guts or Legends of the Pit People. I was thinking, did you watch Double Dare growing up?
It sounds familiar. I don't remember the premise of it though.
The one with the families, and they would run that obstacle course at the end. They would have to pass a flag on.
That sounds funny. Yeah, we should watch that.
Anyways, yeah. So, that's a good one. Ben's like in the mock draft live together. Yeah,
I like that.
I don't think we mocked our soft.
Yeah, we didn't mock our C's off or anything this year, but we did do some good best ball drafts, which those are fun, but you're kind of rushed and all that. So yeah, that would be cool to do a mock draft. Great idea.
Yeah.
Even better idea. Maybe let the audience join. So yeah, that would be really cool. We should coordinate like a live us and the listeners, and we'll have the comment section live on YouTube. Just go into Sleeper, invite, have like a code word or something, and just have everybody. We'll get the draft on here and everything. I think that would be really cool. That's really sweet. So yeah, let's do that for sure. And then I guess so I've had like a lot of fun doing this. I think and you always gotta like look at room for improvement and things like that. So I think I'm going to be doing more research beforehand. I will have a second child, so hopefully I'll have time. It's one of those things, but I do plan on putting in more work into this. I think we did a good job of like thinking about this and learning the ropes this year. And it's definitely not the fanciest production. We still have the stupid powered by StreamYard logo in the corner, so we might pay up and get the non-free version, so we don't have to have that anymore. But we'll see. We might look at some different platforms. I know I'm going to be putting together I'm going to be working on a new statistical formula that I think will give us, something beyond like the stats that are just provided on Sleeper, kind of my own formula, and come out with some sort of ranking chart based off of that, where I can understand a player's true value and be able to share that with everybody. Just kind of take out some outliers and get a true feel for, hey, what was this person's real points per game? What were their true, because you got to account for games missed and things like that, because I don't know, it's hard to do all that during your draft. So I think it helps having that, and it's not the end all be all, but I think it'll be something that will help people whenever they're trying to choose between two different players, or they're in a tier and they want to know where a tier break is, outside of just your generic rankings. So that's something that I want to do more, just study more, maybe bring more stats to the table, things like that. We've had a lot of fun with it. I think I want to make some commercials myself. Get more sponsors signed up. More sponsors, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I think we got, super bright future here. I know we've talked about our website. So that's something that's, still in the beginning stages. But maybe we get more into that, and maybe t-shirts. I have some t-shirt ideas. And we really, just appreciate everybody for, all four of you for being here. Thanks, Joe. All four of you for tuning in. And, I know Matt tunes in every single week, which is awesome. So, Ben's always here. Joe's always here. Our friend Nick's always here. Skittles pipes in from time to time. Cousin Alex, we had a couple strangers.
Yeah.
Peepaw,
Yeah.
just
Weeman every once in a while.
Weeman every once in a while. So, those are kind of the main ones that come to mind. If I missed anybody, I'm very sorry. But yeah, I mean, just some great. We appreciate you guys being there for the humble beginnings before the blow up. So, we're going to. So, we have to put that up there.
Oh.
So, so yeah, I mean that's what I think you can expect from us is just a little bit more. I don't know, just a little bit more, right?
Yeah, just more shit.
More shit. There we go. Good stuff. So yeah, I think we are building a really cool community here too. It's right now it's just like a bunch of our friends from different leagues and family members and things like that. But I think it could really become something. Who knows? Maybe we get more active on the socials. Right now, I think the YouTube channel is awesome. Like maybe we perfect that first.
Yeah.
But lots of different things to kind of look at. I do like the idea of creating more content besides just our show every week, and having some sort of like whether it's articles written, things like that. And who knows how we expand from that. So very excited about the future of Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast.
Okay. So that's it, right? Any final?
Oh, yeah, I guess, I don't know, final advice to everybody. Basically, we're going to be kind of taking a little bit of a break, just with, games being done and everything and fantasy championships being wrapped up. We know that it never stops, like the research and all that, but not much to report on right now. So we'll probably react to the draft and some landing spots and things like that. We might watch some guts whenever we feel like it. Just maybe some random episodes. And then probably really ramp up sometime like midsummer. I think last time we really started getting into it in July. So, so we do have a special request. But do we want to do that? Yeah. All right. Let's do it. All right. So we did have another. Yeah, the Loco Taco, one of our favorite sponsors. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Javier, and I am the owner of the Loco Taco. Thank you for choosing the Loco Taco for all of your Mexican needs. At the Loco Taco, we have fresh ingredients. On Thursdays, we have 3 tacos for $1. On Tuesdays, we have 2 tacos for $2. And on Fridays, we have margaritas. So come on down to the Loco Taco. Grab yourself a handful of Chex Mix. Have a good time.
All right. Thanks to Javier at the Loco Taco.
Nice. Yeah, I just wanted to add in there, just like word of advice going into your different leagues next year. Get your guy. ADP to be damned. What does ESPN know, right? So there's going to be those rankings. Those are just guidelines. Seriously, go get your guy. I don't know how many times. I don't know. Bijan Robinson, sure as shit thing at 1.1 in rookie drafts. Gibbs at 1.2. I started to believe Gibbs was better than Bijan before they played a game. And because he was my guy. And, it's, I don't know, JSN seemed like a sure thing. Expect a big year too from him. But, he seemed like a sure thing, outperformed by multiple receivers behind him. So, I'm going to leave it with a very unpopular opinion of if I had the 1.1, I would take Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr. And so, unpopular opinion, Ohio State boys are going to kill me in the comment section, but that's how I feel, and I'm fine with that. How many times does a 1.1 always work out? It rarely works out. So, anyway, I don't think you can miss with either one, but that's my preference. They're 1A, 1B. If MHJ wasn't in this class, he would be the 1.1. Anyway, so I'll just say that. Also, fall in love, fall in love with the process. Whatever your process is, be consistent and believe in it, and do what you have to do to, understand who you're in on, who you're out on, and everything will work out. If you've put together the best team that you can and you're very happy with it, if it works out or doesn't work out, playoffs are so random. You can lose to whoever, and it happens. So I mean, just fall in love with the process over the result, and you'll be happy and proud of something that you can stand on, and you're not a slave to ADP. So anyway, be independent, be confident, be cocky, talk your shit, and go into next year strong.
Hey.
And that's doctor's orders.
Hey. Dangerous. So before we leave, don't forget to tell everyone about the podcast. Comment on the live video after it's posted, because that helps us get more. Like the video on YouTube. Do all those things to help us out, and we're going to stay in your feed as much as possible between now and then with just different stuff, so that way you don't forget about us. And I think we got a nice establishment here, and there's more to come. So thanks for coming along with us. But so before you leave, there's 5 things we have to do. Those 5 things are
live, laugh, love, like, subscribe. Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. Wow!